Today it's sort of a project day on the farm. We don't officially work on weekends, but today I've got my friend Richard here and we're putting up a side roof on my house connected to my fence, and it's going to be like a covered area for my tools. I'm going to keep the BCS there so it's sheltered, and I'll show you that in a second, but first I wanted to show you what's going on in the greenhouse here. We are, as you can see, taking out all these tomatoes. They've pretty much run their course, though there's still a lot of tomatoes on there. We're kind of picking them clean, at least the best ones, as we pull these out. So this greenhouse has been running since April. We planted these tomatoes in the ground, I think it was mid-February, so these have been running for a long time. They've essentially had a full season. So we have our other greenhouses at our plot 2 blocks away that's in production now. So we're still producing lots of tomatoes, but the lifespan of these ones have come out. You know, one thing I look for when the tomatoes, particularly cherry tomatoes, have kind of run their course, is you start to just see a lot of really small tomatoes, like really marble-sized cherry tomatoes. These are Sun Golds and Sweet Millions, and they're all getting really small, and they taste great if you eat them right off the vine or you eat them relatively quickly, but they don't store well because they shrivel up like raisins, and so they kind of lose their shelf life, and for our customers that just doesn't work. So these are coming out. We're going to get these beds, start to get them prepped for stale seed bedding, and then we're going to replant this greenhouse in the summer. I'll probably completely open this up, or I might even put a shade cloth on it to get a nice crop of greens in here and have that out by maybe late September, and then have another succession of greens going into the winter that will be production that will probably push until Christmas. There he is.
Hey.
So this is my new covered tool area. Richard only took a few hours to build this. I've been meaning to do this for a long time. It's just I'm not really the best builder, and I'd rather just pay somebody who knows what they're doing because they'll do it twice as fast as me. So I'm really excited about this because now I've got a sheltered area where I can keep some tools. Particularly, I wanted to have a place I could put my BCS that was easy to access in and out and would keep it sheltered, especially during the winter. So this is a little gate at the front of my place. So now all I got to do is back my van right up there, open the gate, and then drive the BCS out, and we're good to go. So I'm going to sort of rebuild where I'm going to put all my tools. So I have yet to figure that out, but this was the main point of business today, was to get this done. And you'll notice that I didn't have the roof go right to the fence, and the reason for that is just out of respect to my neighbor. I already talked to him about doing this, and he was concerned that if I had a roof here in the winter, all the snow would dump onto his side of the fence, which would be a hassle for his driveway. I totally get that. That makes sense. So that's why I did it this way, so that the snow and water will just run out on my side. Like, I don't really care if a bit of snow comes in here down on this side in the winter. That's totally fine by me. So that's my new tools area. Got our first crop of carrots yesterday, and I soaked them in water overnight. That's usually what I like to do. It makes cleaning them a lot easier. So I'm going to show you a little bit of how I'm washing my carrots. And this way is quite fast. I mean, the fastest way to wash carrots is if you have a root washer that's almost like a concrete or a little small concrete mixer. It's the same idea. If you do a lot of root veggies, that's a great tool to have on your farm. We don't do a lot of root veggies, so this works. One person can wash well over 100 pounds an hour with this method. In fact, it's like a lot over 100 pounds an hour. This only took me about 5 minutes to wash, and that's about 30 pounds, so it's probably in the hundreds of pounds per hour. We had a lot of trouble with carrots this year, just bad germination. So many beds failed, but I finally got it dialed in. I mentioned that in one of my vlogs last week or so, just about putting a nice thick layer of compost on the top and seeding right into that. That has been working absolutely perfect. We've been getting 100% germination. You can clearly see all 7 rows of carrots, so that's gonna yield in some good results. So we should be strong with our carrot production into the fall, but we were certainly lacking in the early part of the summer. So these have been soaking in water all night. That makes them a lot easier to clean. So I fill up all these macro totes, fill up about that much in there. And this is my clean stuff. This is the stuff that's dirty. I don't like to pile them too thick in there because then it takes longer to clean. When you've got a thin layer, it's relatively quick to clean, as you'll see. This is why on my washing table I ran the grain of my 1/2-inch mesh on here this way, so that when I'm sliding this on these pieces of wood, I don't keep breaking and moving the wires on the mesh. I've done that in the past. When I store carrots, I'll keep them in these for a day to get them dry, and then after that I'll dump them into totes that are sealed so that they stay fresh. If you leave them like in here, at least in these kind of coolers, if you leave them like this, they'll get kind of flimsy if you leave them for too long because they'll kind of dry out. That's what's happening today on the farm. Just wanted to keep you guys posted. We'll talk to you later.